We're gonna start off by blanching our asparagus. We're gonna go ahead and add some asparagus to your boiling water. We're gonna boil these for like 2 minutes at most. For the rice, we're gonna drop about 2 tablespoons of butter. About 1 cup of basmati rice. You can use whatever rice you choose. We're gonna add it in. Right now I got the heat on medium because I like to toast my rice before I add the water in. We're going to go in with about 1 cup of water. We're going to season our rice with salt. And if you want a little chicken bouillon. Now we're going to crank the heat all the way up, right? Then we're going to turn it back down. And then we're going to cover that thing and just let it simmer. Let it steam. You feel me? Most of the water's gone. Kind of want to peek it up just like this here. Build yourself a little mountain. This technique is different. You can use the lid if you want to. But I grew up watching my mom using a bag. So guess what I'm going to use? I'm going to use a bag. Okay, now we're going to prep our vegetables. First thing we're going to need is an onion. Whenever you cut it, make sure you have like a wet paper towel under your cutting board so that way it doesn't move. We're going to slice our onion. If you don't know how to, I will show you. Have your knife. You want to pinch it. You want to use the claw method. Set it here. Basically, we're just going to go up and down and let the knife follow the claw. Alright? Simple. Next is our cilantro. So what you want to do is start off by getting a couple big chops. Then go on the other side and doing the same thing. You go like this. Knife. Make sure your palm's down. Hand on top. And you just chop away, turn. Making cilantro lime rice, so we just need a rough chop. And that right here, my friend, is perfect. Add about 4 garlic cloves, and we're gonna slice them. If slicing them is too hard for you, you could just rough chop it, okay? But if you slice it, the flavor in the food is gonna be a lot better. So let me show you how to slice it. Now, you don't want to cut your fingers, so of course, we're gonna go back to the claw, grab your knife, and just run it, go slow. Right? Now you have sliced garlic. Okay? You keep chopping like that, pretty soon you'll get like this. You feel me? Pretty soon. Alright, let's go ahead and check on our rice. That is some beautiful rice. We're going to set that aside. Now what I'm about to do is to save dishes, but you can use a different pan if you want, okay? Alright, let's get started. Got about a tablespoon of butter. Alright, our pan's getting hot. We're just going to go ahead and throw in our onion. Sauteing these onions until we start to get some color. As soon as we start to get some color, we're going to lower the heat to medium. And then you're going to throw in some of them garlic. Don't use all of it. We need some for the steak. It should start getting aromatic all in your kitchen. And your girl is smelling that right now. Or your man's. This is what we want right here, okay? Your rice. And from there, it's really quick. Because we don't let the rice sit in there, right? We just want to toss it. And don't let it sit. Especially if you're not using a non-stick pan. With some cilantro. Lime juice. We'll go with some lemon zest. Keep in mind, we're still not trying to wash too many dishes. So guess what you do? Go back to that same pan. You add your rice. And this is why I say to get a non-stick pan. We're just going to wipe this down. Add some oil. We're going to sear that steak. Good as new. I got a cowboy ribeye steak. Basically means it has a bone on there. Alright, we're going to make sure we get all the moisture out of there. And we're going to season heavily with salt on both sides. We're getting ready to cook the steak. You want to make sure your pan gets really hot, and then we're going to add the oil. Once the oil gets really hot, then we're going to add the steak. You have to do this if you want a really good crust on your steak, or else the temperature of the pan is going to go down, and your steak is basically going to get stewed, and that's when you get that grayish color in the back of your steak. Okay, our pan's starting to get nice and hot. We're going to add enough oil just to cover the bottom of the pan. Might have had a little too much in there, that's fine. The oil start rippling, that's when you know the oil is hot. It's time to throw that steak in. The oil is rippling, it's time to throw in that steak. And a good way to know that your pan was hot enough is when you hear that sizzle. Alright? You hear that sizzle. Now, you want to develop a really good crust. So here's what you're going to do for me. Don't touch it, don't move it, don't do nothing. Don't touch it. Alright, I'll let you know. Gonna need some butter, right? I got about 4 tablespoons here. If you want less butter, do less butter. It's your business. Alright, I think we're ready to flip. Developed a beautiful crust. I'm gonna sear that fat cap and flip it. Put my heat down 1 notch if you're going by numbers. I'm gonna throw in my butter, my thyme, my garlic. Notice I still got some left. Here's the steak. Remove the steak and let it rest, because we're still in dish saving mode. We're gonna save that steak juice to cook our vegetables in that same pan. We're gonna get this on high heat, because we want a really nice color on those vegetables. Get a nice char. Okay, our pan is nice and hot. We're going to drop in our vegetables. Put some of that little steak juice in there, that butter, to get it going. Steak seasoning, and this is not an ad. It's just this good. You're going to go ahead and add some Montreal steak seasoning to your vegetables, and it's going to change your life. Getting some color on there. Now throw in that garlic. Throw in that garlic. Toss it real quick. Smoke got me crying. Anyway, you want to try and do that without burning whatever you got in there, right? Or else you're going to have to wash that pan, because you're going to have that burnt flavor in there. That steak grease, we're going to add that back in. I'm picking up the little garlic off the steak, because I want it in there. Season this a little bit if you want. You could do a little cayenne pepper. Or, if you've been watching my video, you should have a little bit of this sauce. It's a Haitian-based marinade. You add a little bit in there. It just take your steak to a whole nother level. Alright, we're gonna cut into our steak. Alright, now I'm gonna show you guys how to plate it. Cilantro lime rice. This portion is just for plating purposes only. You can get more rice later on. We're going to go ahead with our asparagus, some Parmesan Reggiano, you're going to hit your vegetables with some salt at the end, or Montreal steak seasoning. Lay on our steak. We're going to add that beautiful sauce we made. Garnish with some cilantro over the rice. I mean, if you make this for on Valentine's Day, you definitely gonna get some.